Okay, I'd like to thank you very much and welcome you to today's lesson. It's session 9 today of your Unit 4 Leadership and Management. Okay, so we're going to commence straight away with looking at recapping from previous lesson. So last week we looked at the influence of leadership and management styles on organizational culture, and we focused mainly on these 3 bullet points: factors influencing organizational culture, where we looked at mission, vision, and values. We also looked at the impact of managing digital technology on leadership and management, and lastly, leadership and management styles shaping organizational culture. Do you agree with that? Do you have any question from what we covered last week? Are you happy with this?
Yeah.
You got a question on that? Okay, so we move on to today's lesson, therefore. Okay, with today's lesson, we'll be looking at the intent, same intent, but the learning outcome is slightly different. So we'll be looking at here, looking at outcome 3, motivational strategy to optimize organizational performance. And by the end of the lesson, you become conversant and be able to understand the content theories of motivation, understand the process theories of motivation. We're going to look at the impact of motivation on organizational performance and job satisfaction, as well as the application of theories in real-world situations, okay? With some examples. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So this is what we're going to be covering today, okay? You happy with that? Yes. So, moving on straight away. So, introduction to the theories of motivation. What are motivation? You can define motivation. It says the theories that explore the drive, needs, and goals that compel people to act in a certain way. So when we act in a certain way, something propels us from to doing that, isn't it? So, and that is motivation. What makes you do something in a particular way? Okay? And so it's what we're going to be looking at today to understand fully. There must be some sort of need, okay? And the goal. So when you're working in a place, there's a reason why you're working there. Not only for the money, but there's also other reasons. So there's we'll look at the theories as we go along. The purpose provides insight into improving individuals and organizational performance by understanding what motivates people. In society, or in the workplace, for example, the theory of motivation is used to create environments that inspire employee motivation. So within a workplace, an organization, it is used to understand what motivates people, what makes people want to work and remain working. In marketing, it applies to design campaigns that connect with consumers. Again, when you do your advertisement and marketing your products and services, you will obviously think about why would somebody buy from you. So that's the motivation. You look at the theory of motivation that will make them want to buy from you, so that you're able to, do your campaign in a particular way to attract that catchment that you want to actually catch. Okay, and the public policy. It also looks at public policy, which helps in creating programs that encourage beneficial behaviors. So again, you look at how does it affect the public, good or bad, and how do we use it to create beneficial behaviors from people. For example, talk about Maslow's theory and Herzberg's 2-factor theory. These are 2 people who have researched and are well known for their job in the study of motivation. Okay, Maslow's call it hierarchy of needs, that human beings have a hierarchy of need. Okay, compares it, companies might provide professional development to meet self-actualization. So there is a kind of a triangle, which you will see in the next slide, that describes Maslow's theory of or Maslow's theory of needs, where we have at the bottom we have physical needs going up until you have actualization. Okay, so people will develop as you go along the triangle. Okay, and then Herzberg's two-factor theory. Schools might create rewarding academic environment that focus on both hygiene and the motivator factor. So his factors are called hygiene factor and motivator factor. So we're going to look at that as well. Okay? So we're going to look at that in a minute. So pictorially, you can look at it this way. You know, the theories of motivation can be broken down into two. One is called content theory, the other process theories. The process theories, okay, is that, you know, we have people like Adams' equity theory, Vroom's Taylor's motivation, Bandura's self-efficiency theory, Skinner's reinforcement theory, and Locke's goal setting. So there are some people who have actually researched some of these, right? And content theories, such as Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Herzberg's two-factor theory, McKellen's three needs theory, McGregor's theory, X and Y, which we saw already last week, if you recall. Okay, Alderfer's ERG theory and Mayo's motivation theory. So these are some of the theories that are available and are categorized into two, content and process. We'll look at that and see what that means, okay? When we focus on content theory of motivation, okay, it's about the internal needs. The internal needs that drive motivation provides insight into what drives employees. Okay? Yeah. All right. So it drives, we need to find out, so it's called content needs. It drives the motivation, providing insight into what drives employees. And the key theorists under content theories are people like Maslow's theory of needs, Herzberg and McLeland. So look at these three theories, okay? So question, what is the primary focus of content theory of motivation? What is the content, the primary focus? When we talk about content, what are we looking for? Content motivation. We're looking for internal needs, okay? So let's see what the answer is. Internal needs that drive motivation, providing insights into what compel people to do or act in a certain way. All right? Is that clear enough?
Yeah.
So looking at Maslow's theory proper, Maslow's theory, motivation is driven by fulfilling needs in a hierarchy, progressing from the bottom, the basic physiological needs, to the top, which is referred to as self-actualization. I will show you the diagram on the next slide, but it's just like a diagram divided into 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so Maslow is saying that human beings are motivated based on their needs, and that everybody is at the bottom, at the bottom there, okay, at the physiological level. So if you count from 1, from the bottom going up, we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? So from the bottom, people have what's called basic needs. Physiological needs, basic needs like food, sleep, shelter, money. That is what everybody's, as soon as you're mature and you're more independent, the first thing you think about is just physical needs to survive. So it's called physiological needs. That's what he called physiological needs. And that all these other needs and doesn't come to your radar. You don't even think about it. You are always in that level where you are until you have fulfilled that level, then the next thing will come up. Subconsciously, you want to go to the next level. Okay? So once you have achieved food, shelter, you're working, you have money and everything, you begin to think about safety. Safety will come to you. What do I mean by safety? Security, stability in the workplace. You want to stabilize. You want a job, you want all that. Now you get the job. You start getting money. You may be working from home. You begin to think about moving out to be independent. And what do I do to keep me on this job? So you move out, you start paying your own rent, or you buy a place depending on circumstances, and you begin to think about your safety, your security, just about you, okay? So that means you move from level 1 to level 2, okay? From physiological needs to safety needs. That's what Maslow profiles. Then he says that you remain on this level 2, at this safety needs until after a while, you begin to think about love.
You meet a woman.
and woman. You have to think about woman, you want to get married as if you're a man. If you're a woman, you think about male. You want to get married, you want to settle down, you want to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend, are you with me? That is when that comes to your mind, according to him. Okay? Belonging. Okay? Love and belonging. Workplace relationship, team cohesion will come in as well. So you begin to think about how you cohabit with people. Okay? And once that is satisfied, you begin to think about your self-esteem. So this is called self-esteem, not only esteem. Your self-esteem is recognition, your respect, your achievement. You begin to think about what have I achieved so far in my life. So that's called self-esteem, and you're trying to maintain that self-esteem. You don't want to drop down, you want to be going up, isn't it? You want to improve. All right? So once you are in a recognized position, you're respected, then the next phase which you can get to will be self-actualization, where you have a personal growth and fulfillment. Sometimes, when you maybe decide to work for yourself, you become an entrepreneur, or you're promoted to maybe a manager or a director, and you feel you've arrived at the peak of your life. So that is said to be self-actualization. So in a way, as you can see, this is trying to describe the issue of motivation, something that drives you, something that you need. Okay, and so Maslow's theory is very, very popular, and it's a hierarchy of needs. Okay, and so that's what happens again in organization. How do we apply this 1 to 5? So what I will explain to you, you can apply it this way. That's 1, you're looking for food, you're looking for safe workplace environment, you're looking for team building activity. If you apply it to work, what I've described to you is applying it to us as an individual, as humans. But when you look at understanding it as humans, you can now begin to apply it in the workplace. What does that mean in the workplace? You can apply it to team building, to awards and promotion. You begin to have you want to be promoted. You want to become recognized at the workplace. So that's self-esteem. Until then you grow, in the business, and you become what is called, you have maybe become a director, or you own your own business and become, a sole proprietor or an entrepreneur, and you become you have what is called self-actualization. So that is Maslow's theory of needs. What motivates human beings? Okay? No, not necessarily money. Okay? Because most times we think about money. Money is actually a very basic need.
It's
okay?
necessary for your life.
Yeah, it's necessary, but just a basic need. There's a lot as human beings. Once you've achieved that, the next stage, you want to grow to the next stage. Okay? Is that clear so far on this? So this is the picture I was trying to explain to you. I should have put that picture in that slide, maybe beside it, so it's easier to see. But this is the triangle, starting from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as you saw previously. So you want to be able to look at shelter, food, sleep, clothing, all that is physiological needs. Then once that is fulfilled, you now begin to see in your radar, safety needs, employment, and all that. And then you go into friendship, intimacy, family, connection, then self-esteem, your status, recognition, respect, and then desire to become the most that you can be. Okay? That means self-actualization. Okay? All clear?
Yeah.
Now let's look at this case study from what we just learned. A manufacturing company redesigns its job roles based on Maslow's theory, focusing on employee growth and fulfillment. The question is therefore, a tech company is struggling with high turnover. Turnover means high rate of people leaving the job. Okay, it's called turnover on this case. Turnover, you might think it means making so much money, isn't it? Yeah, but in this case, it means people resigning or moving away from the business, going somewhere else. So the company is having, is struggling with a lot of people leaving the job. They discovered that employee feels a lack of belonging and are not challenged by work. So people leave a company because they don't feel they belong to that company, and they're not being challenged. So they aspire for something higher, but they can't see it in that company, so they're leaving.
We still remain the same.
Yeah. Okay. So the question is therefore now, using Maslow's hierarchy of needs, suggest a plan to improve employee retention. What plan, using Maslow's theory, can the company, organization, or manager or leader do so that people can remain on the job? You already know why they're leaving. They leave because lack of belonging and not challenged. So how do you overcome that? Yeah? Can you think about that and maybe write something down? Yeah, and I'll come have a look. Okay, I'll give you model answer. Model answer. Belonging needs, which was the complaint over there, foster a collaborative culture with team building activities and social events. So they need to revamp their team building so that they can create a way in which the team will have a synergy, where, the way they can cooperate more. Okay? Because when they cooperate more, they like each other, and that is belonging. They feel they belong to a group. They want to see them. They want to go back to work every day. So it must be driving you to motivate you to go to work every day, because your team is very inspirational. Okay, quite hardworking, and you like that. So that is what is lacking. So management need to reorganize, find a way of creating team building. If possible, send them on a training or something, or create an in-house training for that. Yeah. And self-esteem could be one. Recognize achievement through awards and provide constructive feedback. They must have a way of
Respect status.
sorry?
Respect.
Respect is
Status.
one, yeah. Status, yeah. So they might begin to think about awards. Maybe best employee of the month, depending on the organization. Yearly, maybe 10 yearly or 5 yearly recognition. Yeah. Just find a way to motivate people. Yeah. And also, or even saying well done as a feedback. People work hard. The management should tell them well done. If possible, write them maybe a small feedback or notes, congratulating them for their work. Yeah. Those little things matters. People like those little things, especially when they go out of their way to do certain things. Yeah. Then self-actualization, as I want to grow, create growth opportunity like training programs and projects that will challenge people. People want to grow, so they want a challenge. If you're on one particular level, after a while, and you don't see no increment in your salary, no increment in your status in the workplace, you need to look for other jobs that are offering better pay, better condition of work. Are you me?
Exactly.
And you want to leave. So management need to study that, understand why people are leaving, and see they can change their culture, so that the culture will be more conducive and more interactive and creative. You understand? So that's the idea. Otherwise, so this is a very important case study that tells us, why people do what they do as a leader. Yeah, is that clear enough?
Yeah.
Now let's look at Herzberg's 2-factor. Okay. Herzberg says that motivation is influenced by 2 factors: hygiene factor, which prevents dissatisfaction, salary and work condition. Says hygiene factors prevents dissatisfaction. So whatever prevents dissatisfaction, he called hygiene factor, which can be salary and work conditions. If you give people better salary, they will be happy. If you give them good work environment, they will be happy. Yeah, even if it means giving them a new laptop, for example, to work with, giving them a new office, changing their chairs, new environment. I admit, people would want to retain, would want to stay. So we call it hygiene factor. Then motivator factor drives satisfaction and performance. So if people's hygiene factor are met sufficiently, then they will aspire to perform and do better. And that is said to be motivator factor. Do you understand? That is what Herzberg is talking about. So its application in a work situation. Identify and fulfill hygiene factors to prevent dissatisfaction at work. So you need to be, the organization needs to be, need to think about it, need to find out, if possible, do a kind of a brainstorming with the group to see what makes them happy. Okay, and then try to use that. That can be consultative decision making, isn't it? You can consult, and then based on the consultation, you now make a decision. All right. So fulfill that need, and then provide motivator factors that boost employee engagement, retention, and performance in the workplace. Are you with me? Developmental opportunities is another one. They want to grow, because once they fulfill their need, if they're not challenged, they cannot grow anymore. They want to leave. So if you have a rapid growth, great opportunities that people can grow within the business, they'll be there with you for 20 years. But if you don't show them that they can rise, sorry?
You don't go in the next stage.
Yeah, they can't go next stage. After a while, they want to look for another job that can give them a better. So you can see needs. People's needs need to be met. Okay, you need to anticipate what makes people happy and create it. So there has to be a good welfare system that recognizes and engages the staff. Otherwise, they will want to leave. Definitely. Okay, for example, an IT company surveys its employees. Yeah, surveys its employees and introduces flexibility and learning opportunity to increase job satisfaction. Yeah, so at intervals, at quarterly, you could have a team-wide meeting, or maybe half yearly, where the management would meet with the staff and have a kind of a informal coffee, tea break kind of a discussion. At that point, they see what can motivate, what can they do to make people more happy. People might say they want to be flexible. Especially now that with COVID, we can work from home many times. So people, might ask, why can't we be flexible? Maybe your job is just to do one particular task. You don't have to leave your home all the way to travel in the traffic. In today's UK, we travel a lot of traffic. Traveling all the way down to come and sit in the office and just do some mundane typing, and then send it to management. Where you can maybe sit at home and do the same thing in a more comfortable environment and you're not losing anything. So that could be a flexibility that it can be discussed. What jobs can we do remotely? What can we do in the workplace? Okay, depending again on the job. So people might ask for that. And how can they learn? How can they grow? Are there opportunities for training? Is there staff development to enhance best practices? so that people can feel inspired. Yeah, all of those things management need to be aware of, and that is called motivation. All right. Question: is that clear on that? Which of the following is a hygiene factor according to Herzberg? A, B, C, or D?
Cleaning your room.
A, B, C.
D.
D. A, B, C, D.
No, I'm asking you which of these A, B, C, D, which one is a hygiene factor?
Hygiene. Salary.
Which is C, isn't it?
C.
All right. Well done. Okay. So that's just the question. Well done for that. So another case study: a customer service team is experiencing low morale due to poor work conditions. Using Herzberg's two-factor theory, identify 2 ways management could address this. Again, take 5 minutes or 2 minutes. What 2 ways? What 2 hygiene factors could they apply? So that the service team is experiencing low morale due to poor work conditions. How can they apply 2-factor? Yeah, think about it. Model answer. Okay, you improve hygiene and improve motivator factor. Maybe think about work conditions, not necessarily salary. Think about
The condition about the job where you work
yeah,
is the one.
yeah. So you can either giving them money doesn't change the condition, is it?
Yeah.
So you may want to change it. Maybe they're all using old chairs, or maybe the canteen, is monkey. So you can just maybe clean the environment, change the carpets or something, just something new, or maybe even paint. That can inspire people, So that is hygiene factor. If the environment is good, then motivator, recognize performance and provide professional. So recognize when people do well, tell them thank you, well done. Find a training for them to aspire to the next level, like transformational style, where you lift an employee from one place to the other. Maybe within 3 years they can become this from that. So you apply transformational, style of leadership, right? Like we did in the last lesson, right? Okay. So these are ways in which you can do that. All good?
Yeah.
So this is just a picture.
Okay, so spare job.
Okay, looking at Herzberg's demotivation and motivation. So we're saying that not when you're in the middle there, not dissatisfied but not motivated. But if you're more of the motivation, so if it's towards the left, supervision, rate of pay, security, company policies, relationship benefits. If it's very, very bad, people are demotivated, isn't it? If any of this, yeah? And if any of this is increased, they're motivated. Achievement, recognition, responsibility, advancement in opportunities, personal growth, job interest, make it interesting. How can they make your job interesting? You have to find a way to make your job interesting. Most times, the best thing to do is to invite the person concerned, and obviously it can be done differentially, because not everybody works at the same level. It can be done differentially because you know your employees, and so you can differentially find out what motivates them, or what would they like to see you guys do for them to be happy. And by that communication, you go and apply it. And then you gain their trust. Yeah. And they would remain, right? Was made before, yeah, okay? So all of these are made, otherwise they will not be motivated, okay? Now, another person called McClellan also has his own theory, which he called, this. So the theory, motivation stems from 3 primary needs. So we saw Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the 5 levels. We saw the Heisenberg's two-factor, hygiene and motivator, and now we're looking at McClelland's 3 primary needs. So he's saying, according to his research, that needs for achievement, desire for success. Some people are, they have a drive, they have a need, they want to succeed, they want to achieve, they want to grow. So we need to recognize that. That's called achievement. People need to feel that they're achieving. Okay? Some people want power, need for power, desire to influence and control. They want to grow because they become a manager. Next level, they want to have authority. That could be the drive for in some people. Okay? And then affiliation, desire to belong, and acceptance. To belong, you want to feel that you belong to an organization, that you're valued, and their effort is recognized. So these 3, according to McClelland, these 3 different needs is what drives people to want to motivate them to want to, stay on and carry on working. So to apply this in the workplace, number 1, achievement. Achievement-oriented roles for high achievers. So you find your high achievers in the workplace and try to motivate them so that they can pull them, maybe give them, stretch them. By stretching them, they will become much more productive. Leadership roles. Some like to be promoted. Some people don't like to be responsible. They don't want to be managers or group leader. They just want to be functioning and doing their work. That's their own spirit. You can't blame them. Some people will come today, within one year, they want to be the leader. They want to overtake other people. All right? So, for those that are strong, has a strong need for power, you have to understand that too. Then we have teams and collaborators, those that need just affiliation. They just want to belong to a team, working, they're happy with the salary they're getting, we're happy with work conditions, So we have to recognize these 3 different primary needs and recognize them within our staff. And so differentially, like I mentioned before, differentially try to motivate them accordingly. Yeah? For example, a company assigns high achievers employee to a challenging project with measurable success metrics or KPI. You know what KPI is, isn't it? Key Performance Index, a target that they need to meet. So the high achievers, so you work with them, challenge them all the time, giving them, raising the bar, okay? Because they're happy to keep progressing. They like results, okay? And then you keep increasing their, the bar, the KPI. But of course, sometimes you might need to apply maybe Maslow's or a hygiene factor of Heisenberg. Maybe increase the salary as well. Because after a while, they will feel that they're doing too high, too much, and no money is coming in it. So it's a balance as managers. Okay. Now look at this quiz. Which of McClelland's needs will be most relevant for an employee seeking a leadership position?
Building.
Okay. That's power, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well done. Okay. So, another case study, let's look at this case study. A company notices one employee often volunteers for challenging projects, while others prefer collaborative team settings. Based on McClelland's theory of need, suggest suitable roles for each. Take another 2 minutes and do that. Yeah. People who hire. So this is the achievers, the end arch, the achievers, people who like to achieve. Okay, and then these other ones will be people who want to belong to, who want to collaborate. Okay.
One is in need of achieving,
Yeah.
and the other one is in need of affiliate.
Yeah, affiliation. Yeah.
Affiliate.
That's it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, okay. So well done. Yeah, you got it. All right. All good?
Yeah.
So as managers that you're going to become, always think about what we're learning now and see how you can practice in the workplace. How your managers are using it, or if you're a manager already, how are you applying some of these new theories that we're learning today, okay, or refreshers that we're getting today, okay? That's important. Try to put it into, try to find application for it, real life application, so it makes sense, all right, and easy to remember. This is a picture or diagram of McClelland's theory. Power at the top, affiliate in the middle, and achievers at the bottom there. I already told you, I've already described it, so I'm going to move on. Okay? Then we'll look at, we're not done with content. That was what we're looking at. Content motivation, okay? Content theories of motivation. Now we're looking at the process theories of motivation. Okay? Its focus is understanding motivation through the process that influence how people pursue goals. Okay? So the content is what has to be there to make people want to work. The process is an ongoing thing, looking at understanding the motivation through which process influences people's and how they pursue their goal. Again, three persons have researched that. We're going to be looking at these three. They're called expectancy theory by Vroom, equity theory by Adam, and goal theory by Locke. Is that clear now? So looking at this question, what challenges do global companies face when adapting to local regulations and market? What challenges do global companies face when adapting to local regulations? That means, that means multinational companies that have branches in more than one country. Oh, okay. So, what sort of challenges do they face? Local challenges do they face? Okay, and how do they boost the market? Okay, let's look at expectancy theory. Hold on. Yeah, let's look at expectancy theory. Okay, the expectancy theory is mathematical in a way. The formula is motivation is equal to expectancy times instrumentality times valence. So three elements make up motivation according to Vroom. Okay, expectancy is the belief in the ability to achieve goals. An employee's belief, okay, in the ability to achieve goal. Instrumentality is the performance that when you perform, you will achieve, you will get a reward. Okay? So I expect to do some work, that's my expectancy, that's what's driving me. And I know that if I perform in that job, I'm going to get a reward. Whatever the reward is, pay or whatever it is, okay? Then the valence is what you get, the value of that reward to you. Okay? So that's what Vroom is talking about. So it's an application in the workplace. You set a clear goal and support it. So for your team, you set them a clear, unambiguous goal, okay, and and support it. So to ensure expectancy, so that they understand what they need to do. So when you give out instruction or a KPI or a target, it must be well described, explained, so that people know what they need to do. So when you know what you need to do, then you would need to reinforce instrumentality, that if they perform well on that job, they're going to reap a reward. There's a reward there for them. Maybe in the sales department, for example, you could tell them how much you sell and how much bonus or commission you're going to get. So that'll probably be useful there. And then what they're going to get, the bonus, could be is monetary in this case, and that is the valence. But the value of it is what we're looking at. So not only money, they may get a time off in lieu. Okay? And that is the value. The value it. So you might even discuss with individuals, what would you value more? What is your valence? Would you rather take money extra, or would you rather have a day off or half a day off in lieu of working hard or whatever? Are you me? So that is how you look at it. Is that clear on that? Let's look at this question here. According to expectancy theory, what three elements contribute to motivation? It's already there, isn't it? All right? Okay. So, these three: expectancy, instrumentality, and valence. Let's look at this quiz. True or false? In expectancy theory, valence refers to the perceived value of the reward.
Yes.
True. Okay, good. Okay, well done. Now, case study. A sales team is unmotivated because they feel their hard work won't lead to reward. How could the manager use expectancy theory to address this? So there's already a feeling, an unmotivated feeling. No matter how much I work, no matter how much I do, I'm not going to get any reward. Not even a thank you. And then they feel dejected, you know. So how would you make them? How would you rejuvenate and energize them to feel valued using expectancy theory? So you apply those three. Okay. So let's look at model answer. So you increase expectancy, provide training to help the team member feel more confident in achieving their target. Yeah. So you can, increase training. Even if it's just, sometimes you can have a training in a hotel lobby or hotel room. People just leave the office environment and go to office, a pub or a hotel lobby and have a meeting. That alone creates some sort of relief for a lot of people. Are you me? A different environment. So that could be the expectancy. And there you cannot talk to them in there. Okay? Then improve instrumentality. Clarify the link between their performance and the reward by getting clear criteria for bonuses. Okay? How much bonus they're going to get at the end of the year, or if it's commission at the end of the month, so to speak. Okay? And then enhance the valence. Offer meaningful incentives like additional leave or monetary bonus. Some people even offer the 13th month. Have you heard of that? The 13th month.
Yeah.
Yeah? So they know that at the end of the year, they're going to get an extra month's wage.
Yeah.
That is some powerful valence, isn't it? And you will see people who perform very well. But you must meet a particular target. That's the condition. You must meet a particular target to get that 13th month. Otherwise, people are going to just be relaxing and waiting for 13th month. Are you with me? So, there we go. All right? We're human beings, isn't it? All right? So, this is Brom's pictorial representation of the theory. Expectancy leading to instrumentality leading to valence. Okay? So once you can put that in the picture, and then they're motivated, so you can see you can climb. You can go up that way to your target. All right? By working hard, knowing what you need to do, expectancy, working hard to achieve it, and once you achieve it, you know there's something there waiting for you. All right? There we go. All good?
Yeah.
Then we come into the other equity, Adam's equity theory. Adam says that people are motivated to maintain fairness in relationship to others. People are motivated to maintain fairness in relationship to others. Do you agree with that? People are motivated to maintain fairness. So it's about maintaining fairness when you are dealing with people. Okay, and that if you're fair or people perceive that they've been treated fair, they feel already, they already feel happy and they work well. So how do we apply that? Transparent compensation and feedback. So if manager gives you, helps, in fair perception. If you do one thing and you do one thing, we're in the same level, and you give us equal treatment, or you perceive that you're giving equal treatment, people are motivated to stay and carry on working. But once they begin to feel or perceive that they're not being treated fairly, there's a problem. So management must be aware of fairness, equality, and diversity. That is what Adam is talking about for equity, equality, to be seen. Okay? Equality, recognition of equal work, equal pay, or maintain balance. Sometimes equal work and equal pay. From some places, there has been issues of men and women not doing the same job, men earning more than the women. Why is that?
It's not fair.
Yeah, but
It needs to be equal.
it needs to be equal in theory. But in some places, it's been an issue. Oh yeah. And although it's been tried to be addressed now, it's still happening, but although at least it's now, it now matters. So people are aware of it, and we're trying to equalize it as much as possible. Even I remember there's something about in news. BBC once had a problem with that, isn't it? Where male newscasters and female newscasters doing the same job, same hours, and the men are getting more than women. Why is that? So yeah, I think they dealt with it as well. So again, it's about the perception for equality, and that Adam is saying that once management, shows sufficient equality in treating all diverse, people in the workplace, then they're bound to be motivated in itself. Yeah. Right. Example: a healthcare organization enhances team motivation by maintaining equal reward for comparable jobs. Yeah, like I was just mentioning about BBC newscaster and all of that, doing the same job, same hours, whether a male or female doesn't matter, or even if you're gay or something, doesn't matter. You need to get the same pay, right? So look at this question: an employee feels they contribute more but are paid the same as others. Which element of equity theory does this represent? This is going to be a tough one because the answer is not very clear from the description.
D.
Yeah?
D.
D? That's correct. Well done. That's correct. Okay? All right? You might think it's that, isn't it? All right, so that's very good. So it's D. Okay, comparison is the issue here, all right? How clear now? Have I given you the answer already? Why? Oh, okay, I made a mistake. I forgot to crop it first. Anyway, it doesn't matter, you got the answer there. The question is, a nurse notices that her workload is higher than her peers, but her compensation remains the same. How could the hospital apply equity theory to address her concern? You got the answer already. Adjust workload, rebalance the task among the team to ensure fairness, compensate efforts, consider increasing her pay or providing additional benefits to acknowledge her contribution. This happens a lot in the workplace.
Yeah.
sometimes by ignorance, or sometimes by, I'm looking for the term. You see, managers sometimes will know that maybe they see you as a weak. If they see you as a weak person, you don't complain, you're quiet. Management can capitalize, somebody can capitalize on that, isn't it? And, you know, so the idea is to recognize that and try to be fair at all times. Okay? This is, you know, Adam's scale. Okay? So you need to balance to be fair. You need to have balance input and output somehow. like the law court, like justice. All right. All right. You have to study it, isn't it? Otherwise, you're gonna. Yeah. So there you go. So contribution equal reward. Then we go to goals. A goal theory of Locke's theory, which you call goal theory. Motivation is driven by setting specific, challenging, achievable goals. Smart. He says that motivation is achieved, okay, is driven by smart, by smart action plan.
Simple, from the employee ID manager.
Okay? By being specific. When you give work to people in your workplace, you be specific about it. So put it into action in the workplace. You all know about SMART, isn't it? S-M-A-R-T. Yeah. If you apply that fairly, evenly, then people are motivated. That's what the goal is saying. So in the workplace, set specific goals, like sales targets, so people know exactly what they need to achieve and how to need to achieve it, what they need to do, the responsibility to achieve it. So don't give them a target that you know is unachievable. Are you with me? So you're already setting them to fail in the first place. So you give a moderate, achievable target, like, yeah? So you can negotiate it as well. Then, challenging but achievable objectives in production and customer service. So basically, whatever you're given, it can be challenging so as to stretch and make people put effort in what they're doing, but it should be achievable. So don't give an unrealistic or unachievable type of a goal. Okay, because obviously people will not be motivated. They'll be moaning a lot behind you, especially when they're in a team. They'll not be motivated. They might even leave, ultimately, if there's no way around it. If it's impossible and they cannot, change it, and then they're having complaints that you're not meeting your target. Have you reviewed the target? Have you put yourself as a manager? Have you put yourself in the staff own position? Have you tried to do the work in the time you gave them to see if it's achievable?
Okay, yeah.
Or you're just quoting a figure from the sky. So all of this we need to be realistic. So that's what Locke is saying, that we can motivate staff by setting, specific, achievable goals for our team. Okay, because otherwise they're going to get burnt out easily because they're trying to create effort. And when they get burnt out, they get stressed, then they want to leave. Especially if the system, the style in that organization or the culture is authoritarian, okay, or autocratic, where they have no say, where staff has no real say, they don't contribute, they just do what they say they should do. Okay, it could also be exploitative, authoritative. All right, and so people don't want to lose their job, so sometimes they'll just leave and find somewhere else. So by applying goals theory, you can understand that you're setting unachievable goals, and so you can moderate it and see how that can be alleviated. Question: What type of goal is most likely to increase motivation? A, B, C, or D?
B.
Yeah, very well. Specific and challenging. That's good. You got it. Well done. Okay. So another case study. A manager wants to motivate a team by setting goals. Using goal theory, outline the characteristic of these goals should have to maximize motivation. The manager wants to motivate the team by setting goals. So in using goals theory, how can he or she organize this so as to get the best motivation from the team?
Set realistic goals.
Yes, specific, good.
Specific goals.
Achievable, yes, yeah. Challenging and achievable, yeah, so that's right. That's everything we learned in the previous slide. Yeah? Okay? Goals should be specific. It should be challenging. Okay? And align with team skills. You got that?
Yeah.
You happy with this so far?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you got questions for me? Right. So, pictorially, we have a part goal theory of leadership. As you can see, everything stems to subordinate motivation to achieve, okay, or to perform. Environmental characteristics, leadership behavior, subordinate person characteristics. All of that come together to create performance. Now let's look at the impact of this motivation that we learned so far. So what is the impact of motivation on organizational performance as a whole? So that means what are the benefits? What are benefit impacts? Or what are the pros and cons? So benefits of motivation, it increases productivity if done correctly. Motivated employees work more effectively, isn't it? Reduced absenteeism, job satisfaction reduces turnover. Yeah. Okay? People will not want to leave or be absent. Sometimes people call in ill just because they don't want to go to work. Hello there.
Sorry, we are late.
Oh, are you part of this class?
Hello.
Interesting. You're welcome. Sit down.
He's counting the sheep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they came in by ship, right?
Hello.
Right. Okay. So improved customer service. Positive engagement leads to higher service quality. And lastly, the enhanced innovation. Motivated employees are more creative. Yeah. Especially when allowed to think outside the box, to be creative for themselves. For example, a tech firm notices a 30% production increase after implementing motivational strategies. Okay, so after doing all this, they realized that there was actually a boost in the productivity. Question: name 2 ways motivated employees benefit an organization.
Productivity.
Yeah, productivity, yes.
Innovation. I like innovation.
Yeah, all right. The answers are all there. Just have to put it in the right way. All right. Okay. So it would increase productivity and reduce absenteeism, because when absenteeism is reduced, productivity will still increase.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. All by motivation. All right. Well done for that. Another case study before we call it a day. We're almost there, guys. So a startup sees high employee engagement, leading to increased customer satisfaction. Explain how motivation could be linked to this improvement. A startup sees high employee engagement, leading to increased customer satisfaction. Explain how motivation could be linked to this improvement. Okay? So an organization sees that their employees' engagement is quite high, and productivity is high in that case, and the customers are very happy. They're having good customer feedback. what do you think happened? What caused it? What motivational theory caused it? Take a look, okay? Take a minute or two. Although you're just coming now, so you probably won't know where we are. But never
Is it
mind.
about macho?
You're about to match your case. Right, okay, so motivated employees tend to perform better, providing higher quality service that enhances customer satisfaction and loyalty. So because the employees are motivated, okay, by management, then ultimately they would serve the customers happily, enthusiastically, and the customers will be happy that they receive good service from the staff, and they become loyal and will always come back and even recommend. Yeah? So it's good that your team is motivated. So it's not only, you're going to get, it's a win all the way. Because your customers are very important, especially if you're customer facing. You need to motivate staff a lot because they are the one to meet to interface with the customers. And if the customers are happy and can leave good vibes, good information, good thumbs up, emojis and all of that. Especially nowadays that we operate online, you always see how many please like, comments and all of that. You even get sometimes you get some maybe email or some sort of contact asking you to put 5 stars, tick which of the stars you think is it 1 or 5, in the service that you receive, a kind of a feedback, yeah. So I'll make a comment if you will. On your website, you want to see people leave comments and all of that. So all these are customer feedback, and that's how some people, companies go viral, products go viral. More people will buy it because of customer services. All right. So customers that are your managers, your workers that are happy will ultimately translate to how they treat your customers. Okay, and customers will be happy, and you get the feedback. So it's overall reward. All right. Is that clear on that basis?
Yeah.
Impact on job satisfaction, performance, and productivity. Engaged, loyal employees contribute more and consistently, isn't it? Yeah. So it's quite straightforward, isn't it? That's the impact. Job satisfaction. Once employees are well engaged, thereby they become loyal employees. They stay on longer, and the longer they stay and work hard, consistently, ultimately there will be higher productivity, focus on creativity. So it will boost performance, and ultimately it will boost achievement. Look at this case study. An HR manager wants to boost job satisfaction among employees to reduce turnover. What steps should they take based on relationship between satisfaction, performance, and productivity? So it's about a balance. Yeah, you have to create balance. Okay? Let's look at these questions. Which factor is least likely to influence job satisfaction? Least likely to influence job satisfaction. A, B, C, or D?
B.
D, right? Yeah, job insecurity. Okay? All clear?
Yeah.
Case study. That's the one I was just showing you before. Okay? So, what would that be? What steps should they take, the HR take, to balance satisfaction, performance, and productivity? They should have an environment, a job satisfaction, that people are satisfied. If they're satisfied and they stay on, and employee engagement, it will lead to performance, good performance in the workplace, treating the customers very well. Customers will also give good feedback about the company. Ultimately, they will buy more. They will recommend the company elsewhere, and ultimately the company would make more sale, more production and more sale, right? So it follows. Let's look at model answer. So if you engage your employees, you offer development programs, in-house staff development. You encourage participation in decision. You apply, maybe a democratic decision, or you use participative leadership style where they are allowed to contribute to decision making. Okay, people will feel valued, feel belonging. Okay, and then they will consistently, and you give them feedback all the time. And the feedback is very constructive. They will be happy to work with you, and going to work with you. Okay, and they get praises. Their morale will go high, and ultimately it will translate in the business. They will stay in the business. They have a job stability. They feel secure on the job. Okay, it reduces their anxiety, because when they know that they have a job for long term, people feel more comfortable. The anxiety and enhance overall satisfaction, both to the employee and both to the customers, and ultimately to the organization. Because if without the staff and the customers, they cannot exist. So everybody will be satisfied if they do things right. All right. So that is how HR would perform over there. Variable influence motivation. Variable influence means several types of influence. There's no one particular way of doing it. You can apply whichever fits. Social and cultural factors. Social factors, workplace community can reduce stress. Social support. So if there's a social support, the workplace community can reduce stress. Okay? The culture, the environment can also reduce stress. The workload. Okay? Work cultural context. Is it individualism or collectivism? Can also affect motivation. Do people work individually there? Do they work in a team? Okay, do they work both individually and in a team? Depending on the work at hand. Do you value diversity and equality in the company? Is it evident? Once all of these are answered, is there a positive culture in there? Does it bring motivation through support? Is it an inclusion, equality and diversity? Okay, people are treated fairly. You have all mix of the demography. Okay, everybody feel treated equally, and then the system will gel. So quite a variety of influence, a variety of elements there's no one particular way to motivate somebody or employees. That you have to apply the various ways of doing that. And as you saw in here, we have social support, welfare support, cultural, environmental, which is the organizational culture, a positive culture, inclusion is very important, and a supportive one at that. So a multinational firm, customizes motivation based on local culture. So they operate in different places. So they need to vary their motivation. What motivates a UK indigene or people in the UK will be different from what motivates people in the UAE, in the Arab nation. Okay, so you try to adjust it. On Sundays, we have a holiday here, we work. But in Arab nation like Dubai, for example, Sunday is a working day. Okay, so, but here Sunday is not a working day. So you need to be able to, sorry? Accommodation. You need to be able to accommodate all of this, okay? To motivate them. Here on Friday, you should let the Muslims go for their prayer at 1 p.m. and all of those things. Or you have you create a room where they can pray, for example, at 1 o'clock. So all of those little things that you do leads to you putting a variety of ways in which you can motivate the team. All right? Is that clear on that?
Yes.
So let's look at the question here. How do social and cultural factors impact employee motivation?
Social support, workplace
Okay,
communication.
reducing stress, creating an environment that can reduce stress. Social cultural factors such as workplace support system and cultural values influence how employees perceive motivation and engagement. Yeah? Is that clear enough on that? A multinational firm introduces individual bonus in a team-oriented culture and sees little improvement. So just a culturally aligned motivational strategy. So the company exists in different parts of the world and they want to introduce individual bonus system. Okay, individual bonus in a team-oriented culture. Yeah, where people like to work in a team, and then you want to introduce individual bonus. That means you may work in a team, and if you work hard than this one, I will pay you differently or motivate you differently. That will cause problem, isn't it? Yeah? So that's what they're trying to do there. And so in some places, it's not allowed. Okay? Well, not necessarily that it's not allowed, but it will not create a good atmosphere. Okay? I remember when we were in college, when we were in university many years back, we have assignments in groups. They put us in group at random. Maybe 4 of you in a group. You do an assignment. And then sometimes you have to sign signatures. And they will tell you that even though you're in a team, one person might get an A or the other person might get B, depending on the contribution, because you all have to write about each other's contribution in the job, in the assignment. Obviously, you'll not be happy, isn't it? That you did a lot of work with them and then somebody's getting more credit than you. That's what we're trying to say here. So, it's not expected. People will expect that, they get equal because they all contribute. All right? So just think about that anyway. All right? So the model answer will be this. So to switch to group-based reward, emphasizing teamwork and collective goal that resonates with team-oriented culture. A team-oriented culture prefers that the team should have equal blame and equal gain. Yeah? The moment you start micromanaging it, segregating individually, it will cause problems for some teams. Yeah? In some places, because it's a multinational organization, I don't know, maybe in some countries it may be accepted, I don't know, but here in the UK, it's allowed. Especially in the universities, it's allowed. Okay? So in the workplace, it's also allowed. Maybe a team leader will earn more than the rest of the group. Yeah. Are you with me? Yeah, in some places, it's not allowed. Everybody, will have to, get the same pay, for example, or get the same type of holidays or, reward, valence. Yeah? So we're finishing now. What have we learned today? Let's look at what we have learned today and what are your takeaways from this lesson. Your takeaway from this lesson will be, we've learned about content theory, we've learned about process theory of motivation, that they are both crucial for effective motivation. So both content motivation, process motivation are very crucial in having an effective motivation. Motivation positively impacts organizational performance, satisfaction, and productivity. Do you agree?
Yeah.
That's what we have learned today. All right? So let's look at these final questions. 2 questions and the quiz. I want you to reflect. We'll have a reflective exercise and the quiz. Reflect from the quiz. True or false? All motivational theories work equally well across different cultures and industries.
False.
Good. Then have a reflective answer. The answer is correct. All right? I'll give you model answer anyway. All right? So reflective answers will vary based on personal experience.
Yeah.
Okay? That's on hindsight, on reflection. Okay? But the answer overall will say it's false, right? Is that clear enough? So you have your homework. Take away with you. Discuss which motivational theory is most applicable in your own workplace environment that you are familiar with and why. So think about where you work presently. What motivational theory is applied where you work? Okay, and why do you think it's good or not good? Okay?
Yep.
You can submit this not tomorrow, next Monday. So you have your own week. Oh, it's a holiday, isn't it? It's a reading week.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then you have 2 weeks, then, isn't it?
Yeah. Perfect time.
All right?
More than enough time.
Yeah, more enough time. Good. All right?
Ceva.
So thank you very much. All right. References to support you. You know where to get this from, or you can use Google and all that. All right. You have questions? I'll be happy to answer your questions if you have any.
No.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So you can send your email by you can send them by email your homework. Yeah. All right. So thank you. Have you got the register?
No.
Okay, it's somewhere around, isn't it?
No,
Oh, okay.
I did it downstairs. They said we can't sign it, so
Ah, okay, so you come in late, eh?
yeah.
I can't help you. I'm sorry. All right. So there you go.
Și la răspuns la semnat? Nu v-am să semnați jos acolo, pot fi?
Nu vorbești. Mă, nu vorbește, una e bulgăreacă, una e lituaniană.